Hey all, my name is Paul Borosky and I am the owner of Quality Business Plan. And what I'd like to do today is to show you all how to have your pro forma financial projections for your food haul complete in 30 minutes or less. In order to pull off this little magic trick of mine, you do need to have my financial model as well as my business plan template for the food haul, which you can purchase online. And I will give you that website address in just a little bit. But the way the video is going to work out is first I'm going to go ahead and give you all a little bit of background about me, who I am, what I do, and why I do it. From that point, we're then going to dive into my Excel financial model that I've constructed and customized and optimized for the food haul industry. So at the end of the day, or at least at the end of this video, within 30 minutes, y'all should have a workable, usable, customized food haul financial projections ready to go for your business plan. All right, with that said, and as promised, who I am and what I do. Again, named Paul Borosky, owner of Quality Business Plan. I'm a professional financial modeler. I do love my numbers. I'm also a professional business plan writer. So if y'all do need some help writing the business plan, or if you do need some help, the tutorial's just not getting you where it needs to be for the financial model, you need some help, I'd be delighted to do your pro forma financial projections for you as well. So just keep that in mind. I am also an author of numerous business plan writing books. They are published on Amazon.com. So if you want some reading material for business plan writing, please check out my books on Amazon. And then finally, I am an adjunct professor and subject matter expert in both business and finance. So I've got a little bit of education backing me up on my thoughts and ideas. All right. So with that said, as I said, here is my handy dandy little financial model that's customized to the food haul industry. In order to get this model, like I said, I'm going to give you the link in just a little bit as to where you can purchase it. It does come with a Word document, and in the Word document, it has the business plan template. You can fill in the information, customize it for your business. Also, it's going to have an attachment, an Excel file. In that Excel file, you'll be this is actually going to be the Excel file, the way it's going to look, and the setup, and how, and so on and so forth. So when you get this Excel file, you're going to see three tabs. It's going to be the information tab, it's going to be your projections tab, your profit and loss tab, and then your income statement tab. Your information tab is going to have all the information. Anything you change on this information tab, and the information you can change is going to be in these darker blue colored areas. So anything you change, and I'm going to show you what you can change, anything you change in this area will roll over to your projection summary tab. It'll roll into your 12-month financial projections. It'll also roll into the next 5 years for your pro forma income statement. So the way this tab is structured is I do have it, again, I do like my segments. So this is structured into segments as well. The first section we're going to go over is going to be your daily revenue generator. Instead of daily revenue generator, this is actually a monthly revenue generator. And so the way the revenue generator works out is we have two revenue generating channels for this hypothetical, or for this template. The first one is going to be for the food hall when you lease out spaces to other individuals or other entrepreneurs. The second one is going to be the revenues generated if you hold back one space. So typically what I find when working with food hall owners is they're going to go ahead and they might have 7 spaces available for their food hall. They might lease out 6 of the spaces to other competitors, and then one of the spaces they're going to hold back, and they're going to have a restaurant or a quick service food organization, or they might have a cafe, or they might have a bar and lounge, and whatever it is, they're going to hold back a space and they're going to utilize that. So this model is constructed to go ahead and adapt to both channels. Now, if you're not going to have a holdback for the restaurant, then you simply just put a 0 here and it eliminates the revenues for you. All right, so the way the revenues generate, the way this is structured is the daily sales. I'm going to label the revenue channels. For this channel right here is restaurant suites. For the next channel is the food hall owned suite. The variable cost is going to be, the variable cost is just, what it costs you to provide your services. For the suites, there's not your variable cost is going to be rather low based on my experience, and that's why I put a 3% variable cost. However, for the restaurant aspect, that does tend to be a little bit higher, so I put the variable cost for each customer at 35%. The next is how many customers you're going to be dealing with for each revenue channel. For restaurant suites, I'm saying that we're going to have 6 tenants, so I'm going to put a 6 there. For the food hall owned suite, I am saying that we're going to deal with approximately 2,800 customers. And what I do is I'll take out over here, I take that 2,800, I divide that by 30, and this tells me that means that we're going to be typically dealing with about 93 customers a day on this financial model. If it's going to be more, then bump it up to 3,000 or whatever you like, and those calculations are right there. If you're going to have more suites, then change it to 7. Again, these numbers roll over accordingly. The next section is going to be price. For price, I'm saying this could be $1,500. Now, everything in this model is based off of a 1 month. It's based off of 1 month of revenues, and the reason I do this is because for the restaurant, you're going to be servicing customers on a daily basis. However, for your restaurant suites, you're only going to be collecting rent on a monthly basis typically. So you have to have apples to apples for your revenue channels. And that's why I've based the model on a monthly revenue instead of a daily revenue. So we can just take out that daily and we can change it to monthly, but it is based on monthly. And so just keep that in mind. So like I said, we're saying the price right here per customer is going to be $1,500. We're saying we're leasing out the space at $1,500 a pop. And then right here, we're saying each customer, they're going to drop about $20 a pop for each meal ticket. Next is going to be your this is going to be a variable cost, but instead of in percentages, it's in dollars. And so once you put your 3% here, it'll calculate 3% of the 1,500, which is your variable cost, and that's how it plays out. And then it gives you an estimate for the total revenues on a monthly basis. These numbers right here, I've changed operating days to week. This says 1, and then the monthly profits say 1. That means in the financial model that we are saying these revenues are generated on a monthly basis. If your financial model is going to be constructed in something different, it's not going to work for you. So we do need for this particular situation, because typically, like I said, food hall customers, they're doing a suite holdback as well as operating one of the units. And so that's how I've constructed this right here. If you're not going to have the units constructed, then if you're not going to have your food hall suites, then put a 0, and it'll like I said, it'll update accordingly for you. But you're not going to have, if you're just going to have one restaurant, the food hall is not going to make sense. So you wouldn't use this model. You use my restaurant template. All right, so with that said, that explains our revenue generators, 2 channels, and the way these are broken up. And these numbers right here, don't make any changes with those. The next section is going to be the labor. So the salary section is going to be what you're going to pay yourself on a monthly basis, as well as your management team. So whatever your management team's going to be paid, as well as yourself, put that number right here. And then right here, I've got a couple different lines for employees. The first line right here is going to be for the manager if they're paid hourly. Put the number of managers you're going to have right here, the hourly rate, and then 172 means that they're going to be full-time. If they're going to be part-time, then you're going to take that 172 and you're going to divide that by 2, and then you change this to 86 instead of 172, and that would represent a part-time manager. And the calculations will be for the total pay for the calculations for the manager. It'll multiply however many managers you have by the pay rate, by the hourly hours worked, and that'll give you your monthly hours or monthly total for that line item. Next is going to be the employees. For the employees, we're saying we're going to have 8 employees, average pay of $15, and they're full-time because it's 172 hours. We multiply all that good stuff together, and that gives us employees of $20,640 on a monthly basis. In order to get labor, we will only add $4,300 plus the $20,000, and that'll give us our labor. In our projections, our labor and salary are broken up differently, and that's why you're going to have the different calculations. So the salary right here is tied to the salary, and then the labor is tied to the labor. So the salary is tied to this right here, and then the labor section in the pro forma financial statement is tied right here. Next step is going to be the startup cost. The first two lines is how much is the equity investment and also the loan. So we're saying in this hypothetical, we're dropping $100,000 out of our pocket, and we're taking a loan of $425,000. When we fill out this information right here, this loan amount, excuse me, gets pulled down to right here. I put a negative on it because that's how it's calculated for the payment. So the loan amount will come right here, and then you can change the interest rate. If you're going to have a 6% interest rate, you change it there. And then the term, if it's going to be a 15-year term, you can change it there as well. So you can change these two. You can change the interest rate, and you can change the term, and the payment will change accordingly. And again, this will also wrap into your income statement and your 12-month profit and loss. So back up to where we were. So we got an equity investment. If your equity investment is going to be $50,000, you can change it right there. If your loan amount is going to be $450,000, you can change it right there. Just keep in mind, when you change these two numbers right here, the total needs to add up right here. So it's got to be the same number. So if you're going to invest $500,000 into your food hall, then by golly gee, this needs to reflect $500,000. So we're going to go ahead and bump this back up to $100,000 or $75,000. And this way, the 450 and the 75,000 equals to 525. So we're good. The next step is you can go ahead and change the typical prices. Excuse me. The typical prices for the startup cost. So your startup cost right here, your initial build out, you can change it here. Working capital, you can change it here. These titles, do not change those titles because it wraps into your depreciation. So keep those titles static and then make the changes right here for the numbers. These numbers right here, you can go ahead and change to your heart's delight. You can change these titles and you can change these dollar amounts as well. What you cannot do is add lines. Do not add any lines here. This is static. Again, you can change the titles and you can change the dollar amounts, but don't add lines. Don't subtract lines either. Just you know, if you're not going to use supplies, then zero it out, zero it out, and go from there. And then you can hide this line if you want. I don't recommend it, but you can do that. Just don't add lines. Whatever you do, do not add lines. Next is going to be your fixed cost, your monthly fixed cost. So whatever your rent's going to be, if you're buying, then of course you're not going to have rent. So I zeroed that out. Whatever your utilities are going to be, your office expenses, insurance, accounting and legal, advertising and other. For this section right here, you just put the numbers, whatever your numbers are going to be, and it'll sum it up here. This number, the titles cannot be changed. Do not change the titles because, again, that wraps into the pro forma profit and loss statement for the next 12 months. It also wraps into the income statement. So don't change any of the titles, but you can change these numbers to your heart's delight again. Next is going to be miscellaneous information section, your tax rate. I estimate all my incomes, all my projections at a tax rate of 20%. If your tax rate's going to be a little bit higher, a little bit lower, feel free to change it. This section right here is your growth rates. So right here, I've got your growth rate. So this is saying that your growth rate for year one is going to be about 20%. Growth rate for revenues for year two is going to be 15%. Growth rate for revenues year three, 7%. Growth rate year four, 3.5%. Growth rate year five, 3%. You can, again, change these numbers however you see fit to whatever you anticipate your growth to be for your organization. These numbers right here are just tied to growth rates for your various categories, such as cost of goods, salary, labor, advertising, office, utilities, legal, insurance, and other. So you can change these, and again, your growth rates will change as well. And for the cost of goods, I believe this doesn't start kicking in until year three. So just keep that in mind, that the cost of goods sold, the growth rate, that's not going to start kicking in at a percentage like this until year three. Year one and year two, it's going to be static. All right, and finally, we already went over the loan information. So we already talked about that, how to change this. This number right here is not to be changed. You can change that number by changing it right here. So that is tied together. Interest rate, you can change that again to your heart's delight. And term, if it's going to be a 15-year or 30-year, whatever it's going to be, you can put it right there. 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years. I just won't go into fractions. All right, and that's going to, once you make those changes, it's going to give you your payments. And then once you make all of your changes on this document right here, like I said, your financial projection summary page, all these numbers are updated. And then your profit and loss statement, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 is updated. And then your income statement is updated as well. So once you are done with your financial model, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to open up the business plan itself, the template, and you're going to scroll all the way down to the little bitty bottom. Keep going, keep going. This is all the food model template. It's all information, all updated for you, and all you got to do is make the changes. And you're going to want to go ahead and go to the financial projection section first. So once you get to the financial projection section, you're going to go ahead and highlight your old profit and loss model. This is for month 1 through month 3. You're going to get rid of it. You'll backspace it. Then you're going to go over to the profit and loss tab of the new model that has the updated numbers. You're going to go down right to here. You're going to hit Control C, which is copy. You're going to take it to your business plan template, and you're going to paste it in there. And then when you paste it, it comes in just like this. And so now all of your numbers are updated. You'll do that for quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. And then once you get to the income statement, you'll delete this as well. Then you'll go over to your financial model, and you'll do your income statement, and you'll do the same thing. You're going to highlight the income statement, the new income statement with the new numbers. You hit Control C. Come over here to the pro forma income statement, hit Control V, and now your numbers are updated. The last step that you need to do for this model is to go all the way back up to the executive summary section. And in the executive summary section, we do have executive summary. In the executive summary section, we do have financial highlights. This right here is where you're going to want to make your changes for your financial highlights as well as your funding request. So for example, we've got for the next year, we project revenues of approximately $855,000. Well, based on our numbers that we've changed, if we go to our projections tab, we now have numbers of $928,024. And we're going to find that information for the first 3 lines here. So on the projections tab, year 1, the first 3 numbers right here is what we care about. Annual revenues for the next year, $928,024. So we're going to come right here, and we're going to change this number to $928,024. The estimated expenses will be, we're going to again go to our financial model, projections, cost, $718,085. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to change this number to $718,085. And then finally, right here is our net profit year 1. We're going to change our net profit to $146,767. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to get rid of this bad boy, and we're going to change this to $146,776. And then if we need to change our startup cost, so if our startup costs have changed, they're at $525,000. We'll take a look at our startup costs. Startup costs are still $525,000, so we don't need to change anything in the funding request. All right, so guess what? That is it. The financial model has been updated. We've changed the numbers to our heart's delight, and we've also updated the information in the business plan, and we were able to do that in 18 minutes and 37 seconds. So that's not too bad of a deal to have your financial projections ready. I promise you in less than 30 minutes. It's actually less than 20 minutes where you're going to be able to have it updated. If you are interested in purchasing my food hall business plan template, which includes the financial model that we just went through, just go to qualitybusinessplan.com/food hall business plan template. And on that webpage, you can go ahead and purchase my business plan template, which again does come with a Word document. Also comes with the Excel model that we just covered. What it does not come with is free phone support. So please, love to answer any questions you have about the template before you buy it. But after you buy it, I will refer you to the tutorial right here that we just went through to answer any of your questions. All right. So as always, have a great day, and go out and make a little bit of money. Thank you.